Alright guys, I'm going to jump out of the party guys so I can do this stream. Yeah, I'm going to jump out. I should have jumped out before. Yeah, sorry guys. Okay, welcome to Oz NZ Combined Racing League's unofficial championship, brought to you by Weary Knight, who we're looking at currently. One of our members, he's brought to us this fabulous Mustang versus Camaro championship over a number of rounds, and I think there's what we're looking at about eight or nine rounds. We're going to be here at Long Beach this week for two races. We've got a sprint race, which is going to be reverse grid from this qualifying session. So we've only got about 3.5 minutes remaining from the 10-minute qualifying session. As I said, the grid will be reversed, and from then on, let's all go for 6 laps of racing for the first sprint race. And then we'll have our feature race, which will include a mandatory pit stop, and that should become very interesting because we have got in our settings here pit stop errors are on. So that's a random lottery for the drivers, and should be fairly interesting to see if that affects some of the leaders, and that'll be a 15 lap race, I think it is. So yeah, looking forward to that. Currently we've got a Logical Sports on pole, but that's nothing to go home screaming about because that'll be last come race start with a reverse grid. As you can see, he is fairly loose in that Camaro, and definitely looks like he's the man that's going to be nipping on the tail of Weary Knight come the race. It looks like he's got some nice love hearts going there in the front of the covered light covers, and we can just see if we can better his time. I'm not too sure what he's been doing here right now, but here we go, and he's done a 25.847, so he's almost a second faster than the rest of the field at the moment. Settings here, as you can see, it's coming up, the sun's coming up from the east here in sunny California. It's only 7 o'clock in the morning, and majority of the pit crew are still trying to finish their bacon and egg rolls and slurping down their coffees. And as some of the drivers are saying, that they've got stains already down their elbows of the egg dripping down as they jumped in the car. So we've got a few new faces here. We've got Aussie Nooney. He looks like he's driving one of the Mustangs. Coming out of the pits, ready to try and see if he can squeeze out another lap. I think he's just going to fall short. Devil X, one of the standouts of at the end of the V8 Supercar series, the official series that we ran, which was Series 5. Came in late in the championship, and definitely showing some very impressive speed. And I'm sure he's working on his racecraft and everything like that at the same time, and harnessing that raw pace that this young fella has. Ads Webb, I've seen him around the traps, and obviously first time I think maybe running here with Oz NZ, so charging hard here in the Mustang. And not too far away is Dado Racer, the fans' favourite. And here he comes. Of course, he wouldn't even touch anything that starts with an F or resemblance a prancing horse in any sort of way, as he pulls it up. And maybe just thinks about that option that maybe he should have gone over to the other side and joined the Ford crew in the Mustang. But anyway, that's the end of that one. And HUDs, as we know, he likes to get his elbows out here in that number 63. So at the moment, currently, he's sandbagging, and you know, 7th on the grid at the moment for this qualifying session. It's going to be reverse. Will that put him on the front row on the outside, which isn't too bad. If you can get around the outside, you've got that nice little right-hander. Just come out of that wall, if you can squeeze through there and you get a nice little run in to the fountain area and take that inside corner. So it's not a bad little position to be in, but I think it's going to be a single file restart. They're going to do a formation lap, I believe, and so this man here could be the man that's actually going to take control of the field. So they'll go off the grid and they'll reverse their order and run off. I believe it will be a single file restart, and it'll be all go for 6 laps. So it'll be a 7-lap set race, but the first lap, as we said, will be a formation lap. Lolux hasn't been able to improve on his time, unfortunately. So the man at the moment, as we said, Logical Sports has taken pole, but will be upended back into last there, which is unfortunate. But it's going to be the battle in this Camaro versus Mustang championship in this first sprint round. It's going to throw a lot of action into that first lap. So if you want to come and join, we're going to be running on Friday nights. As I said, this is not an official series from AusNZ Combined Racing League. It's actually what we allow our members to do. And thank you again to Weary Knight for putting this on. And yeah, come and join us, and I'll give you some more information as we go. But we'll get these guys out onto the grid so they can start their organisation and what they've got to do for their formation. So here we go. So we'll see them, obviously, as we said, the Logical Sports will be coming out, and we'll have to wait. And I think we'll have Lolux, the man down here. We'll look down here in the, can't quite see, we won't see here, but I think he's in a Camaro. So he should be the man that leading the field, with then Hud's 21, second. Dado will be third in the Camaro, so there's a couple of Camaros there. And Devil X. We're in a little handy position there, right mid-pack, to hopefully see if he escapes any of the mayhem into the first corner. But being a single file restart, we should see it go all right, and as adds Webb in that Mustang. And I must also let everyone know that the Camaros, as they're a little bit over horsepower, they have all been restricted with their air restrictor. They've had to close that down. Haven't got the figure in front of me at the moment, but all the Camaros must have their restrictor closed up to a certain amount to level the playing field. But as we can see, it didn't stop a Logical Sports in that fine looking Camaro, who had pole, which will be at the back of the grid. And here we go. So we'll just get them all sorted while I pull up some other information about this championship. As we said, this is unofficial, so me being one of the admins, I have not really up to speed with everything at the moment. So we've got obviously the vintage touring car class, and I'll go and have a look at Lolux, because he's going to be the man that's going to take this field away, I believe. So we're going to be at Long Beach as the first round, and then we're going to go to Sugo next Friday night. And that's one of the tracks that these cars should really, really love. There's a lot of great corners where these cars can hook in. And then we go to Willow Springs, going up and around those hills, and then coming down. They're going to really be testing those brakes on these old cars. And then Rapuna Park, one of the fan favourites over in New Zealand. Donington Park National on the 18th of December, just before Christmas. That'll be the little hurrah, and then they'll have a break for the jolly old fellow to come along and give a whole lot of presents, and hopefully that's to do with some shifters and some pedals and new steering wheels and maybe even a new Xbox. And then we come back for 3 more rounds. We got Alton Park on the 8th of January. Most of us guys should be just recovered after the New Year's hangover. And then on the 15th of January, you can't miss this one. It will be at our most famous racetrack, Bathurst. Who could not have a series that is not run at Bathurst with these fabulous cars? And then the one that I'm really looking forward to just before we go to Australia Day on the 22nd of January will be the Sonoma short track layout. That should be very interesting, and I'm sure there'll be some guys hanging it all out for that final round. So as we can see, so the Camaro, the air restrictor is set to 35.1 millimeters. So that's quite a few clicks closed from the full opening, and the Mustang can be fully opened. So that's going to be very indeed to try and level out this field. And then I believe there's going to be success ballots as we go through the championship. So the winner of each, after there's 2 races each night, so the winner will, I believe, will be probably getting a few little clicks closed in their air restrictor after the round win. So as I said, this is our little sprint round, only 6 laps. We've got 1 of 7. This is their formation lap to get to the reverse grid from their qualifying. So the fast men are at the back around the street circuits here at Long Beach. Definitely hold on. It looks like we're going to be going side by side. That's a good thing to see. So this is going to be good. So they've got the leader now has control from the pit entry, I believe, to the start line. So Lolax can really hold them up if he wants, but it looks like he's just gone now. So he's just put the hammer down. And you should see the Mustang should be able to muscle through over these Camaros with their restriction. We lost a little bit of horsepower as Lolux now. He's got a nice position here just to really concentrate as Devil X. So Devil X didn't make the most of that Camaro air restrictor. I thought Devil X could have probably gained a little bit more on him, on Lolux. Oh, just missing those tyre barriers is a must. You don't want to be ruining that car early on. They've done a great job so far all throughout the field. Oh, I've got images here of old George Bartlett going around in that Chev Camaro, Channel 9. Oh, as he's just got it all out. I think he's found the wall. Yes, he has, and we've got some guys upside down. Now that's going to definitely add to some pit stop, as Illogical Sports has now got up to second. They've avoided that, and at the same time Aussie Nooney has taken the lead with all that in that number 90, that 72 Mustang of his. And he got out of that incident very lucky. And here we got the fast guys that were subject to the back of the grid have now found themselves first, second, third and fourth. As a lot of these other guys, you'll think they'll need a pick, as Webb is just having a little look at Weary Night and thinks better of it. He thinks he's just got to get things up to temperature. And think about it for a second as Illogical Sports gets through that fountain area complex. They're in the shadows here, 8 a.m. in the morning, still fairly early. temperature should just start to be getting onto the track for these guys. As Aussie Nooney's doing a great job out in front here in this number 72 Mustang. As he's just getting a little bit loose, a little bit tail happy. As a Logical Sports, as a cameraman, he looks like he has had a little tag. Oh, and there's tags going all along here. There's going to be some sore cars. Full damage is implied. Is the setting. Real life here. So some of these guys are going to have bent suspension, wrong toe-ins. The Logical Sports currently now in first with the man that is going to try and do the battling, try and do the chasing is Ads Webb. Another Kermit the Frog green car coming through, and doesn't that look nice as well? Teammate obviously to the Aussie Noonan. And it looks like we've actually had someone drop out. Might be Dado, actually. Dado is disconnected somewhere along the line, unfortunately. So it looks like Lolux now is in 6th. He's missing his bonnet. He's just going to try and mop up and gather some pieces. Oh, as he's clipped that wall as he's turned in. And thought he'll make a little bit of extra work for the council workers in the morning there over the fountain, running over all the flowers. Who would put flowers on the racetrack anyway? So here we go, Weary Night. Can he chase down Ads Webb with Aussie Nooney? Unfortunately, he'll be nursing a fairly crippled car, and what he'll be wanting to do is obviously is try and hold Devil out for that 4th position. So it's always going to put a cat amongst the pigeons here in this first round of these muscle cars around the streets of Long Beach. What an introduction to a lot of these guys. Won't dampen their enthusiasm though, that's for sure. Just trying to pick up if we've got any battles. A lot of it's all spaced out at the moment. We've got a little bit of, looks like HUDs. These guys here are very damaged. They're just going to nurse it around. If they're not going into the pits here, they're obviously going to just count these numbers down. And we're looking at HUDs in that Camaro. They're simple liveries, but classic liveries as well at the same time. They would have learned a lot from that in that first few laps, that's for sure. So definitely this second race with a mandatory pit stop should be fairly interesting to find out when they're going to pit. And I'm not too sure if there's that they need to take any tyres, or if it's just a actual stop itself. We'll clear that up for you guys, ready for the next race. And also we've got for the championship as well, we've got the fastest lap. They get 1 point into the championship. So we know how a lot of our AusNZ Combined Racing League championships go. That 1 point can be vital. As Lolux comes in hot and into the tyre barriers. And we've also got Weary Night with a little penalty by the looks of things, as he's navigating through the fountain. Some of these hotheads would probably be wanting to dive in there and cool them down, ready for the next race. We've got 1 more lap to go after this one, and the Logical Sports is cleared out. 4-second lead in front of Ads Webb. Must say he's done a great job, Ads Webb. First time running. And this Logical Sports, don't forget he came second in the championship in the V8 Supercars that's just been finished. Did a big charge late in the season, and thoroughly muscled in to take that second position. Had a lot of work to do, and he done it. He won by 2 points. So you know, to be following Illogical Sports only within 4.5 seconds, it's not a mean feat. So congratulations here to Ads Webb in this number 73 Mustang, charging hard. Just behind him is obviously Weary Knight. And Aussie Noonie with a really battered up car. It was unfortunate for him. He got caught up. And anyway, still just in front of Devil X, who's also lost a bonnet. So they'll be going cheap in the markets there on Sunday morning. So we'll pick up the leader as he'll be coming around to the back straight over that the manhole cover. Don't want that coming loose. And again, we did start with 8. We lost Dado Racer early. I can't remember if I'm sure he took the grid and something happened along the line. So that morning sun's just starting to rise a little bit more as Illogical Sports takes race 1 of this, what have we got, about 16 race championship, 16 or 18 race championship. So congratulations to Illogical, and also to Ads Webb picking up a podium, first time out. Not too shabby at all. And Weary Knight coming home in 3rd. And then here comes Aussie Noonie, who has just been able to hold out Devil X, who's fought valiantly to try and get to the back of Aussie Noonie. Just couldn't quite get there in the end, so Devil X has finished 5th. That's a good way to open the championship. And here comes Huds 21. And it all started with this man here, Low Lux, who he went everywhere. And you can blame it on the tyre like George Bartlett did back in the day in Bathurst when he ended up on his roof. But anyway, here he comes to take 7th spot and bring on the next race, he says. So there you go. So just go through that order. As you can see, Weary Knight had a 1 second penalty in the end, but that wouldn't have affected him at all. He had a good gap over Aussie Noonie that brought home a damaged car. But Illogical Sports coming home in 1st, with Ads Webb in 2nd, with Weary Knight, Aussie Noonie, Devil X, Huds, Low Lux, and Dado Racer. Disqualified. So there you go. So something happened there. If you either jump the start or something, there's only a 10-second, a 10-second penalty or something like that, I think, was included here for the penalties. So that could have been low enough that he might have disqualified from a little jump start. So unfortunate there. Some of the settings might have caught him out. But we'll take a quick screenshot here just in case they need it. And we'll end the stream. And we'll be back very shortly.